pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Everybody for coming out on a rainy, yucky, true fall night. Let's see. Everybody had a chance to review the minutes from the September 11th meeting. Any corrections, requests for deletions, additions of the clerk's minutes? Hearing none, these are the clerk's minutes. That brings us to the first public comment of the night. Anybody from the public have anything they'd like to bring up? All right. Highway transfer recycling. Sean, tag, you're it.
All garbage and recyclables swept downtown sidewalks in Hobie every other Thursday. Brought up the town of Webb Mobile State for Square Mile and Fall Festival and returned to Webb. Mowed roadside and weed whacked. Did some ditching on Uncas Road. Blew the leaves off of Townsend, Hobie, Jasper, Davis, Plains and other roads. We paved 2,100 feet on Uncas Road. I'd like to thank Hamilton County Highway for the manpower and trucks. The towns of Webb, Arietta, Lake Pleasant, Long Lake, Indian Lake, New York City DOT, and Newcomb for their trucks and skilled drivers. My crew did a great job as well, backing up the driveways and cleaning up afterwards. And thank you to the traveling public for their patience. This is a good job done. Shared service is a great thing. I hope to get shoulders on with some help from Hamilton County soon. Helped out Long Lake with their paving project by supplying a truck. Coming up, all garbage and recycling. Help Hamilton County with the paving project by providing a truck, blow leaves off the road, Toby, Townsend, etc. We're hopefully putting the shoulders on the Uncas Road. It's gonna spread more gravel on the Uncas Road dirt section before winter. I have to go back in the plains and brush out Helldiver and parts of the main road. Start getting snowplow equipment ready for winter. Service trucks and equipment for winter. The Western Star dump truck will go on Auctions International on 10/29 and run until 11/12, just before our board meeting. So it'll have 2 full weeks. So it'll end before that and we'll be able to decide next month. And I was hoping to get some sections of the Townsend Trail paved before the blacktop plant's closed this year. Yep, provided a quote.
Get a quote for $16,823. This is to take care of the problem spots.
Yeah.
They keep washing out.
Yep.
Mind if I steal your thunder for a couple of minutes?
Before.
We've met a couple of times on the Townsend Trail. I'm not happy, once again, with New York State, this time the DOT. It's always interesting when you ask the question, what can we do? When all of a sudden they throw up roadblock after roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. It's my intention to let the grant go that we got from Senator Tedesco. The DOT and its representative that met with us now wants us to go back to the APA, wants us to get seeker, complete engineering redo from CNS Engineering. Don't think the town's in the interest at this point in time of trying to pave the entire path. We got actually quite a bit of feedback saying that we don't want the path paved. We like the path gravel. And in talking with Sean, the amount of material that it would take to finish the trail is far underneath what it would be as a gravel path as opposed to a paved path. So maybe New York State DOT does a favor. I'm not sure, but you know, it's becoming extremely problematic to work through these grants. Some of them are easier than others, but I believe we proved the DOT and its representative wrong on one issue, and we paid for it. That's my opinion. Stick to it. I think the 16,823 is within the monies that we've had set aside for the Townsend Trail, and I think if we can still get Gorman to come up and do this, I support this. I don't know what the rest of the board thinks.
Sounds fine to me.
Those are the problem areas, right?
Yes.
That's all I wanted from you, man.
It would take a motion and second.
I'll make a motion that we do those parts with that $16,000 quote.
I'll second that.
Discussion.
You're gonna oversee it, right?
Yep.
And I've also asked Sean, you know, if he can find time this fall to see what we can press ahead with as far as a gravel path. We're not giving up on it. I just think it's absolutely ridiculous that DOT has pushed us in this direction. And this is, folks, after a long attempt to get this thing done and going way back to the beginning, and then I'll shut up, maybe. We had it designed by CNS on one side of the road. We thought about having it on that side of the road. Then they came back and said, no, we'd like you DOT, put it on the other side of the road. Went back and had it designed for the other side of the road. They came back a little while later and said, you know, it might be better back on the other side of the road. So let's keep it in-house and see what we can get done. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
Just one more thing on the Townsend Trail, the crosswalk. I spoke with DOT and I was asked if we could purchase the pads for the ADA or whatever, visually impaired pads, like they have at every crosswalk. If we could purchase that, they do everything else. I have them sitting in my shop waiting for them to come and put the crosswalk.
You already purchased them,
I've
right?
Done that.
Yep.
Yeah, and I have to preface, in talking to you this afternoon, it's not the local guys at the DOT, in Indian Lake or wherever, the staff, the people that come out and do the work,
They're fantastic.
they're behind us 100%. This came out of engineering and politics down in Utica. Bottom line. Sorry.
No, that's fine. No, the Indian Lake residency, they're great up there. They're awesome. So yes, but the crosswalk is waiting for them to do it, but I have the parts, so I'm not holding that up. That's all I have for highway.
Transfer.
For the rest of the month, the transfer station is open 7 days a week from 8 AM to 11:45, then 1 PM to 6:45 PM, closed from 12 to 1 daily for lunch. Starting the first week in November, we'll be open 4 days a week for the same hours. Closed on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. We'll be closed on Thanksgiving, but we'll be open on the Friday following. The transfer station is clean. Be sure to enter the building before proceeding to the outdoor bins. Make sure seeing cut the 4-foot pieces before bringing it to the transfer station. If there's any questions on transfer station guidelines, they're on the town's website, the transfer station, and on the transfer station. If you need help, please ask the attendant. I know it's the same thing over and over, but it's just gotta follow the rules. That's what they're there for.
Any questions of highway or transfer? All right. I don't think it's quite 7:45 yet for the public hearing on the Zoom law, so somebody remind me when we get to 7:45. Champion Power,
We've got the now that is gonna go through, so that and also the grant for $10,000 that we're gonna get for, doing the building assessments of the energy and, so, you know, all that. So just waiting for it to land. I don't know what's happening at this point with the LED. If we're starting with it, I saw some correspondence about, from National Grid and you were on.
Oh,
that,
yeah,
like,
yeah, okay, I couldn't figure out which grant we were talking about.
they want a letter from us, right?
Yeah, they want a new letter because they said that the old, I mean, he had the old letter, so I'm not sure what happened, but it somehow got lost in the shuffle. So they said now, because it's been so long since that old letter, they just want a new letter of commitment. And I told him, I responded to him this morning that I'd have it to him either this afternoon or tomorrow.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And then, last I spoke with Mike about, doing the mini splits. They're supposed to happen sometime.
Yeah, it happened, yeah.
And I'd like to say Collis did a great job putting them in too.
Okay, and, Nancy Bernstein did say that, I'm not sure if you've gotten the bill yet, but all those incentives and rebates are definitely available to municipalities. So if we have any problems with that, yeah, definitely Nancy can help with that.
Awesome.
They should, college should, have said, here you go. I know when I worked with, City Suburban, they took it right off the top. We may have to go through the motion and apply for those.
Mhm, okay.
Very good. Mike's not here tonight, right? We might want you to go talk to Mike about, he's looking for a truck. To see if it's feasible for the electric truck. See if it's feasible. We're not saying we're doing it, but, you know, in talking at our budget session earlier tonight, you know, trying to, you know, figure out if we're gonna put a truck in the budget. You know, of all the trucks we have, I think I'm gonna steal your words, Herb.
Okay.
The one that travels the least out of the area would be the Parks truck.
Okay.
You know, it should be easy to have it by a charging station and it doesn't travel 200, 300 miles at a clip.
Which reminds me, I did send you all the, information about potential for getting, there was a grant that you could get an EV charging station for the town. You know, if you want to pursue that, and that would make sense if you're gonna get it, you know, an electric truck.
And when I say we're looking at it, we're very enticed by the free aspect, part of it.
That's,
Yeah,
You know, we're not looking to go out and purchase one, but if they've got them available and they're looking for people to be guinea pigs
try one.
for free, we'd be willing to try it. Doesn't mean we'd be getting rid of the other one, just have it in backup or whatever, but free makes it worthwhile to look at.
absolutely.
Anything else? Okay. Fern Park Master Plan.
Nothing.
Tim's not here tonight, so I'd hit him for that. I know, we're having early budget talks, right now. I know I'm trying to put something in the budget for, monies to be spent in Fern Park, should we ever get it. I've got monies right now technically parked in an engineering line. We want to get a study done. So we can start moving forward with that a little bit more once, hopefully, we pass our budget in November.
I'll reach out to Tim again. I'm hoping he'll take the lead and like start running, having meetings again.
Very good. Communications. Good things are happening. The concrete was finally poured the other day. Yesterday, 2 days ago, last week. And the crane comes tomorrow, next Thursday. The shelter will be moved up to the top of Corsani's Hill. Things are happening. T-Mobile, I think, is almost done.
Yeah, all their equipment's installed, yeah, to do a final up there next week, so.
And the county, as far as Hamilton County side of the thing, since this is moving ahead, they've decided to take equipment that they purchased elsewhere and they've allocated it for going into the shelter once the shelter's fit. We just got to get on JPJ, make sure that we're getting our Herkimer County stuff.
Yeah, that sounds like that's a little delayed.
Yep, that's what I've heard.
Yeah,
That's why Hamilton County is grabbing stuff that they purchased previously, but there's separate equipment for their 911 part.
mhm.
But I want to re-emphasize that Inlet is responding for 911 through Herkimer County only. Hamilton County is going on the tower here for support and backup in case of area emergencies. And then for planes or elsewhere, for their people are over here. But we are still coding out through Herkimer County 911. I believe they've given us a new contract to use.
The contract will be forthcoming. It's gonna be starting January 1st. It'll be a 5-year contract like we had before, and there'll be a 3% increase, a one-time 3% increase for the next 5 years.
Which is incredibly
Yeah, it's
reasonable.
very reasonable. And he got the attorney, he's gonna get the paperwork together, get it to you. He said, even if it gets delayed, they'll still continue with the old contract until we can backdate it or whatever we have to do. So we are on board good with them.
Perfect. And apparently the 911 numbering is going to be done too.
Yeah, Andrew went yesterday up to the county, met with them and gave them all the information for their end. And I believe the plan is that we're supposed to be sending out letters sometime and then
Yeah, we have to.
first of the year, Is that when you send the letters out or is that when it's gonna start? I don't know. It's just kind of,
We're trying to get it to start at the beginning of the year, but you
Mhm.
guys have to schedule a public hearing
okay,
and adopt the new addresses
okay,
as Herkimer County 911 has presented them.
okay.
So we're probably looking to schedule that for the December meeting at this point, because we haven't seen anything yet. I mean, we have.
Yeah.
I have it also.
Yeah,
Do you?
no,
Do you want to schedule the public hearing for the November meeting?
That would be the smarter thing, I think.
Do I have a motion to schedule a public hearing on the 911 numbering for 7:45 at our November 11th or 13th meeting?
Offered.
I'll second it.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
There'll be a public hearing at our next meeting at 7:45 on the 911 renumbering. But folks, we have to do this. The numbers aren't running the way they're supposed to on the roads. There's supposed to be enough gaps between properties and everything's supposed to start with it's supposed to be a 4-digit number.
I think everything is at least a 4-digit number, I believe.
3-digit number? 3-digit.
Or 3-digit, okay.
The whole town will be renumbered.
Yep. And then once the last time. All right,
Challenge, but it needs to be done.
it does. So we apologize in advance for everybody having to redo their signs.
Now you go back to your public hearing.
7:45. Motion to open the public hearing on our Zoom meeting local law.
So moved. I'll second.
Second, discussion. All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Public hearing's open. Schedule the public hearing for the local law number,
I don't know.
could be assigned,
Yeah,
of 2024, allowing members of the public bodies of the town to participate in meetings via video conference. I'm going to read a little bit about this, but not all 7 pages. A local law authorizing the public bodies of the town to use video conferencing technology to participate in public meetings. Section 1, legislative intent. It is the intent of this local law to give the town's public bodies, as that term is defined in Public Officers Law, Section 102, the authority to participate in meetings via video conference in a manner consistent with the town's video conferencing policy and the authority granted in Public Office Law, Section 103A. Now I'm going to skip over to the first paragraph on our board member virtual meeting participation policy that we're looking to have adopted out of this as well. Policy statement. While physical attendance at public meetings remains an integral part of government, the past several years have provided insight into how virtual participation in public meetings can provide convenience to board members and allow increased participation in government by members of the community who may find it difficult or impossible to attend meetings in person. It is the intent of the town board of the town of Inlet to allow board members of the town board and each and every administrative board or committee of the town of Inlet to attend and participate virtually in their respective meetings. This policy will decrease the likelihood that the experience and expertise of elected and appointed officials be unavailable simply because those individuals are prevented by extraordinary circumstances from physically attending meetings, and will simultaneously extend to the public the ability to view and sometimes participate in public meetings more conveniently. This policy is adopted in accordance with Open Meetings Law, Section 103A, as amended by the 2022-2023 New York State budget. And then it has many definitions.
Eight different
Huh?
definitions.
Yeah, 8 different definitions, of which I'm not going to read all 8 of them.
I think the only important one is 6, maybe.
Yeah, 6 is the one I think I'm going to read.
Biggest time.
Public notice of virtual attendance. If a board member's virtual participation is known far enough in advance of the meeting to alert the public, the board shall take the reasonable steps to inform the public that video conferencing will be used, where the public can view the meeting virtually in real time. Where required, documents and records will be posted or available, and identify the physical location or locations for the meeting where the public can attend. Members of the public will be provided with the opportunity to view such meeting and participate in such proceedings via video conference in real time during any component of the meeting during which the public comment or participation is allowed in person. In addition, those members of the public participating remotely shall have no less opportunity to participate than those appearing in person. Nothing in this policy shall create a privilege or a public commitment or participation at such a meeting or such privilege is not otherwise authorized. Notwithstanding the foregoing, if the member's reason for virtual participation does not provide for advance notice, the supervisor or chairperson of the relevant board or committee shall make an announcement during the meeting identifying which member or members are participating remotely. A copy of this will be available in the clerk's office. We're not looking to adopt this tonight or move it. I think we'll keep this open, the public hearing on this, because this is the first read for a lot of people until the next meeting.
That's,
Good idea.
it works.
Hence the reason for me not reading all 7 pages, 6 pages. Anybody not having seen it in the public, does anybody have any questions as to why we're doing it, or this is a public hearing? If anybody wants to make a statement, even early now, they can, or you can hold them until you've had a chance to read it at next month's meeting. Any board members? Nope, hearing none, we'll move on. The public hearing remains open. All right, where were we? Communication, planning board.
I'm getting trickles of updates. I got some updates from the comments today. Just keeping it open to more updates.
Anything else for planning board? Assessor codes, parks, building information and trails. Most of those reports are attached unless you've got the trail report in person.
No.
He didn't give you one this month.
Mm-mm.
But we are lucky enough to have quite a few people here tonight. Information, you want to go first? You have anything you would like to highlight in your report?
Sure. Well, I did want to know, I didn't have numbers for Fall Festival when I sent it, so can add those numbers now. $2,565 was collected from 41 vendors to reserve 46 spaces for the 2025 Fall Festival. It was a great show, so I'm all excited to.
Did we get lucky with the weather this year?
Very lucky. So Fall Festival was great. 1 Square Mile of Hope was great. The board's in there if anyone wants to take a look at all the pins stuck in the photo. We counted 1,844 votes and raised over $110,000. We're making about some checks to Golisano Children's Hospitals. Kiwanis in Rochester is going to hand out the one in Rochester. We have a gal from Syracuse who's going to come tomorrow and meet with us with the first responders that we're handing checks out to as well.
Did we get lucky with the weather?
Did on that one.
We did.
It was nice to see the people in town too. It was, and people came early. It was nice. You saw the kayaks rolling into town weekend before, if I'm
Yeah,
not
there were some
mistaken.
people that were here for the whole week.
Yep.
Ready for it, that volunteered too. I've never met people.
They're already asking us, this is going to be a really neat yearly event.
Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry, Connie.
In my report, I noted that Roost is working on a new website for Inlet. They're doing a new website, new look for Hamilton County, and a new website for Inlet, new website for Indian Lake. And they're working on they have this thing called 80K data, and that's where like all the businesses and all the events are listed, which once they're in there, they can populate through all of Hamilton County's websites easily. But they're upgrading that as well. So after the first of the year, we'll have a new look.
Yeah, they're trying to get away from the tagline Adirondack experience that we started, and then the Blue Mountain Museum lovingly adopted. And, I made the comment at the county board meeting that I'm hoping that the museum doesn't adopt our new tagline when it's put up.
No. That's it. I mean, we'll talk about snowmobile.
Yep.
Program later, so.
Yep. Amy, anything from your office?
Just updating the assessor files and adding improvements and, um, about it right now. I didn't have any complaints from school tax bills, so I guess everything was okay.
We'll move right on real quickly then. We'll move right on real quickly then. John?
Our report, short-term rental permits have been trickling in. We've been moving along with those. And there's a ZBA meeting on Thursday, October 24th.
Okay. All right, any questions of information code of assessor? And I've got on the Parks and Building, we already commented that the air conditioning grant project's done. They did a great job installing those.
Yeah, and like you said, they were great. They were
Very professional in and out.
very professional.
And trust me when I say Mike put that out there, trying to get anybody to submit quotes, and we got very few in. So we basically had to almost not drag them up here, but drag them up here to give us a quote. And then once we got the quote, they were fantastic. Yep.
Appreciate it. Good rec, for sure.
All right, that brings us to the town clerk report. Tag, you're it.
All I really have, revenue was $24,303.60. A little bit of cottage money, but mostly sewer bills. Was reported in that. And we already scheduled a public hearing for 911. That's it.
Okay, I already talked about the LED lighting. You're gonna send that
That letter out.
commitment letter out. Just the folder
For which thing?
for the snowmobile.
Oh,
Hit that already?
that's this one. Got lots of folders.
Signed copy of the agreement between the town of Webb and the town of Inlet by both towns to move forward with the permits. We'll revisit it again, I guess, in March when it retires itself and hopefully move forward. Now, all we need is snow, folks. But I'd like to thank those in the room that have helped with this, the town board members from Webb that are here. Thank you. Those from the town board that went down and met and held the meetings. This was not a painless process, but I think the outcome of this is going to be very, very, very good. I know in our budget conversations earlier today, and I'm hoping the budget that I can put forward in November, we're putting some more money in grooming. And we've got a guy in charge of the trails right now that's really into it. As I made the statement, I don't think there's gonna be a spare piece of scrap iron anywhere left on the campus that he hasn't welded together and made use of for something. So we're gonna see if we can't build into the budget. I'll make the statement now, some grooming at later hours. I can't promise late into the night, but later hours, see if we can't do something where we're gonna get some of these trails to set up. I think it's a virtual impossibility to get that trail between here and Eagle Bay, probably for Webb between Eagle Bay and Dakers to ever set up 100%. But I think the inner trails we could be doing a different job on, and we're looking to try and find a way to do that. You had a meeting with,
I did not. And
Oh.
in fact, last night I went to Webb's board meeting and found out that that is supposed to be a thing, but that was the first I'd heard of it. So I have not had any meetings with anybody.
oh, okay,
I had a meeting with the programmer,
okay,
who, so for the program, all our concerns that we sent to them in March, they're kind of just looking at now, which is months too late. But, permits have to be sold, so we're going with the program we used. I guess, my office hasn't sold anything, my office hasn't processed any. I was logged out of it. I could log in, but I had no more access to anything to it. So last time I checked on Friday when we had the meeting. So hopefully I can get into it now and actually process permits.
Who do we talk to so that you go live?
At the meeting on Friday, that's when it was realized that I couldn't do anything. So they were gonna fix that. I haven't heard anything since the meeting on Friday though, so.
You've got a name.
But we
or-
were,
Tommy?
what I was referring to was at Webb's meeting, it was mentioned that I was gonna be meeting, Alexis and Lisa were gonna be meeting with me. To hopefully talk about the program. and
Okay.
how
Oh,
we
good.
work Together, but I haven't heard.
Yeah, it hasn't gotten back yet.
I think a lot of the discussion we had was it's so late in the game here, so like as we move forward, going into like, that March meeting. That would be a better time for, our publicity department, Adele, whoever, to meet and start talking about what they can work on, changing programs, things like that as we go into the next.
Yeah. For next
Next phase.
Yeah.
We need to be doing now.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Like I said,
Like I can't even process.
I wanted to be turned on live now. Who would we see? Who do we?
I only assumed Alexis, but like, again, I don't know a lot about that, but this meeting that that I've talked to them guys about, I would like to have like very soon.
Yeah,
That's what I think. I think you should.
So when
as
I-
soon as
I
possible.
asked a question, in an email that like Alexis did kind of, like last year, my office processed permits on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or Tuesdays and Fridays. And I asked if, that was gonna be a thing still. And Alexis says, I think so. So like, when are we gonna know this? Because we should be doing this.
I'll
now.
get right on that.
Because anything we can do to help out and share the load, we're still willing to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tuesdays and Fridays work perfect for me. And I picked those 2 days because, Brittany and I are both in the office. It works for us.
I'll talk to them.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Looking to maybe craft a support letter for, Barton Mines. Up in North Creek area, their, mine's been there for over 130 years. Producing, is it graphite? Graphite.
Yeah.
I think I've got a letter somewhere.
Sounds about
They've,
right.
they've been trying to get a permit through the APA to expand the area of their mining capabilities within the footprint of their ownership, and they own. It's one of the things that frustrates me greatly about the Adirondack Park. This mine predates the park. This mine predates the APA. This mine has been there. You can't see this mine from the ski hill at Gore. You can see the tailing piles from some places on the road going up there. Some of the, neighbors do have concerns, but I think that there are things that can be addressed. They would like to increase some of the trucking off there, but limit the hours that the trucking comes on. All these things can be, but they employ over 130 people in the area. And if those jobs go away, if the mine closes down within 4 or 5 years, if they can get this expanded area, they can probably keep the mine open for another 80 years. Anybody still uses a pencil? The
Yeah.
graphite and the tailings, from what I understand,
High-end stuff, what they do.
yeah, it's,
So any water jet cutting for high precise metal forming military applications, it all comes from that garnet.
it's garnet. Thank you. That's what it is. And the tailings on that, they use that for top coating in some gravel driveways and stuff. They still, if you go up and with a truck, will they still fill you up?
They sell it to you now.
Oh, they sell it to, they used to give it away to try and get rid of the tailing pile. I think they might want to go back to that approach. But anyways, I think it's worthwhile. They've done the studies on the environmental footprint of this. It's there. It is what it is. This isn't, the tailing pile isn't a corrosive state. It's worthwhile. Does anybody have an issue if I put anything in the town letterhead
You go.
in support of the jobs in the mine?
No problem for me.
All right. 2025 budget hearing. I'd like to schedule a budget hearing for our next town board meeting. Following the other open public hearings we have. Or do we want to start it at 7 o'clock before the town board meeting? I was going to schedule one more budget meeting prior to the meeting like we did tonight
Okay,
at the same time at 4 o'clock.
and then when do we have to? It has to be, how does that fall around the election or how does that?
Yeah, I'm done with that.
Are you done with that?
I'm done with that. We're gonna adopt the budget. We're
We adopt-
presenting a budget. The budget's gonna be available online. If the state wants to come up here and say you were a day late or a day early,
Okay, I know that we used to.
lock me up and take me away to jail.
Okay, all right.
It's
Let
ridiculous.
me know when you go, so I fill a spot.
Some of these laws that they've got in place on this budget, well, what did I see? I don't mean to beat up poor Webb, but I don't think you guys are even getting your draft budget until the end of the month.
It's been a good year for budget.
So, I mean,
Cut yourself off.
but trust me, I get it. We had our first budget meeting today. Our second meeting is gonna be a month from now. It is what it is, but the town business still moves forward.
Yeah.
So,
So, 3 o'clock?
4 o'clock for
Or
the,
4 o'clock. so we
4
can-
for the meeting
Yeah, 4 o'clock.
and 7 o'clock for the budget hearing.
Yep, okay.
So we'll be starting our town meeting early for the budget hearing at 7 o'clock next month. Just want to make that perfectly clear.
All right. Say that one more time. Slower. Town board meeting.
We'll be starting our town board meeting early in order to have the budget hearing at
Okay.
7 o'clock.
Perfect. 7 o'clock. Got it. All right, thank you.
All right. I do have two things for, oh wait, I've got one more thing. What was it? Oh, shoot. Sorry, folks, bear with me. The hat's too tight. Huh? Oh, yeah, employee handbook. Thank you. Meant to have this on the agenda. We've had a request to look into, amending our employee handbook as far as the, health insurance for employees and or significant others. We don't have that as part of our handbook at this point in time. And, we'd like to reach out to our public sector HR,
Yeah, Ronnie.
Ronnie and Jeff Travers. They're gonna get us, some information on that. And, we'll be looking into that, next month. We're looking to hopefully update our handbook prior to the beginning of the year. If we can come up with palatable, language to make sure that it's very well defined what creates or designates a significant other. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Yeah.
Fair wording.
Okay, all right. I have executive session, one legal issue and one specific employee issue to talk about. But I should have that after the public comment. I'm sorry. We'll do public comment before we say, sorry, you gotta get out. We're having executive sessions. Anybody in the public have anything they'd like to, Peggy?
Yeah, I was gonna ask Adele if, in the master plan for Fern Park, if you have added pickleball to that?
We haven't had a meeting. We haven't done anything for Fern Park master plan. So that's why I was hoping that Tim's gonna take the lead on that.
But can you make sure that gets added?
Absolutely. I mean, there must be something in there, you know, because it was mentioned in the surveys. that we
Previously
sent.
was mentioned.
Yeah, so it's in there already. But we haven't had a meeting, so we haven't updated the plan.
And then I just wanted to ask Sean, if they were gonna do the blacktop on the bad parts of the town of Vale this month?
It depends on when the plant's closing. It'd be towards the end of the month, if any time, according to the contractor, so. If not, it'll be first thing in the spring.
Okay, that's what I was just gonna say.
Yep.
So we just did pass that to spend that money on that.
But then you're still planning on continuing with the trail
If
somewhere
time allows, yes.
this fall?
If and when.
Yep.
Basically.
Anybody else in the public?
I can just quickly give our living aid.
Oh, sorry, yes.
This coming Friday will be our last market of the season. We have, throughout the season, we gave out over $6,000 of our nutrition program. So that distributed through our, the local food pantries. Our business and transition program, we had some representatives and students from Ithaca College here last month. They met with a local business that participates in that program, so that's open in for our offices to support any business that's looking as a need to long-term transition planning and support. So there's one of our staff people trained to educate in that. We're partnering with we have some partners. We're about to launch our short-term to long-term rental catalyst program. So we have some funding lined up and some additional grants. So that's you look out for some announcements on that coming up. We have a Zoom coming up in October 23rd. We're working with our bank partner with our deed restriction program, so we're hoping to be able to get that out and announced, but the intent of that is to provide incentives to permanently restrict deeds for, keep them for long-term residents. And we have some funding for that. And then just quickly, a couple of events, our bagels and blood pressure event at the Forge Ambulance. We'll have for the next 3 months, tomorrow at 10 a.m. is the next one. So a lot of services there and blood pressure events. And lastly, our annual meeting, Living 80K's annual public meeting is next week on the 16th at 6 p.m. at the Legion in Old Forge. So that one's open to the public and results for the year. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike?
I guess what I was thinking when I mentioned it last night is our committee would get together with Adele and Alexa. I don't know, maybe it's, I don't know what you think, Dan and Bert. Maybe it's just as well that the two girls get together and discuss right first. I guess I'm asking for your opinion because I don't know who has time to do what.
Do, so you know what's going on, but you know.
Yeah, and I don't mind meeting at all as long as I'm here. I'm kind of in and out. So if you guys can meet and I'm not here and maybe Dan could go, it would be just nice if we're all kind of with it together. You know what I'm saying? I'm leaving tonight after the meeting and I won't be back till the 4th. So if you guys are going to meet before that, which I think you should, you know, but if I'm around, I would certainly want to help. But if Dan can be there, I think it would be good.
I'll coordinate with Dan and
Okay.
Adele
All right.
Sounds good to me.
Actually, just to add also, last night Robin mentioned that every island is going to be open.
It's gonna stay
Are they
open?
going to stay open? That's super.
Yeah, it is.
The DEC's getting something right. Very good. Peggy?
I just want to know if Bunny had the Zoom meeting local law paperwork available tonight, or gonna get it from your office?
Do we have more copies?
Yeah, I got plenty of copies.
She can get you a copy. And we'll put it online too.
Yeah, we can put it online. You can steal one of these up here before you.
Roland? Roland?
And you can leave that one right there.
Thank you.
Yep. I do have a couple things, before we go into executive session. I'd like to offer a moment of silence for, Chief Dibble, who passed away. Chief Dibble was a good friend of the town of Inlet, as well as, you know, being Old Forge's chief. He helped Andrew with quite a bit of stuff through the years. So, I'd like to have a moment of silence for Chief Dibble. Thank you, folks. And I also like to offer warm thoughts and a moment of silence for those in harm's way down in Florida right now. I know that's where you're headed. I know that's where your daughter is. This storm's gonna be the storm. So hopefully, God willing, that people come through it in an okay manner. And people listened and did what they're supposed to do. You can never tell where these things are gonna hit, but if anything came out of Helen, the storm Helen, you know, maybe people took a little bit more notice this time, and we can make it through it. On that, I'm offered a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Folks, thanks for coming. I don't expect anything coming out of executive session other than a couple of reports.